They're going to spend their life savings, and they're going to buy a piece of property, and they're going to homestead, and they're going to figure out that all the glitz and glamour that they saw on the gram is not real. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. It is a beautiful day on the homestead today. There's not a cloud in the sky. We have had about 5 days of just continuous rain, which we desperately needed. Everything's looking good. The grass is greening up right before our eyes, and so it's just a beautiful morning. Finally, we have a break in the hot weather we have here in West Tennessee. It's about 80 degrees. I mean, couldn't ask for a better day. Thank you, Lord, for a beautiful day. And so because we got such a beautiful day, I thought I would just come out here and just have a chat. Well, today is Monday morning. Let me say happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to everybody out there. Hope you're having a great day. So we just finished our last cutting of hay at my brother's place, and that was last weekend. We got that cut, raked, and baled, and I'll put a little clip in here, let you see the little bit of that baling process. We got our share of hay, and we are busting at the seams right now. One of the things we're going to have to think about in the future, we're probably going to have to build a lean-to maybe on the barn for hay storage, because we're running out of space to store hay. And you see I've got some stacked here behind me, and that is what we got left over, so that we can fit into our little hay shed, little hay building, portable garage, whatever you want to call it. So one of these got a little moisture on it, and so we're going to take that right quick and put that, use that for bedding. Nothing goes to waste. So we're going to take this here, take it out to the goat barn, and get them some fresh bedding. I thought that while I'm out here enjoying the sunshine, that we'd have a little chat and talk about some things that you do not hear about normally on YouTube. Some of the things about homesteading that are not talked about. You know, the thing about YouTube and really any social media. So on YouTube, we get the A side of homesteading. We don't get don't normally see the back end of things. And so I kind of want to talk to you today about 5 things. I've come up with 5 things that you're not going to hear. Well, I guess you are going to hear it on YouTube, because you're going to hear it from me today. But I'm going to get this tripod set up so that I can get their bedding down. So the first thing I want to say, the first thing that you're probably not going to hear about homesteading on social media is exactly the amount of work that is involved in homesteading. And guys, you know, I've said this before, I'm not crazy about that word homesteading. You look up homesteading in the dictionary, and it's going to talk about settling private land in the Homestead Act. I don't really consider what we do here homesteading. We're just living the country life, for being self-sufficient. But for the sake of convenience and simplicity, we'll call this homesteading. So one thing that we don't talk about is the amount of work that goes into having a homestead. There is always animals that need to be fed. There's always animals that need to be cared for, doctored, all sorts of things like that. There's always chores in the garden that need to be done. We have a laundry list of things that we need to get done this fall. We want to have a fall garden, and part of that, we're going to have to get the garden ready for that. We're going to have to bush hog everything down and get the ground prepared. You know, we have chickens that are going to be going on pasture before long. We got to get this fence and this pasture ready for that. Always things going on. There's always projects to be done. And you can't be lazy and live this kind of lifestyle and be successful at it, I guess is the word. There's always work to be done. Not only is there always work to be done, in essence, you're always on call, so to speak. Animals eat every day. Sometimes twice a day. So that means we have to be here every day to feed them. If we're not here to feed them, our animals go hungry. Things don't go so well. So having a homestead means we don't take a lot of vacations. We don't make last minute trip decisions, last minute road trips. Everything that we do has to be planned out in advance. Things happen. Things happen every day. Murphy's Law says what can go wrong will go wrong. And things are going to go wrong. And more than likely, they're going to go wrong at the most inopportune time. They're going to go wrong at 11 o'clock at night when you're in the bed and you're waking up by sounds of your animals. They've had it happen to us several times. It's going to be at the most inopportune time. You're going to have to come and feed when it's 10 degrees or 0 degrees. You're going to have to come and bust up water troughs and make sure that your animals have water. Things are going to go wrong at the most inopportune time that you can imagine. And so that is the one thing that's usually not talked about, is that having a homestead is a total commitment. There's a little funny cartoon story about a pig and a hen walking down the street. They come by this place that's having a benefit meal, and it's a ham and egg benefit meal to raise money. So the hen looks at the pig and says, we should go in there and help out. And the pig says, well, wait a minute. If you go in there, all they're going to require from you is just a donation, an egg or two. But if I go in there, it's going to be a total commitment. And that's really what homesteading is. It is a total commitment. You have to be totally committed. You have to be here. Yes, there's things you can do to mitigate that. There's things that you can do to make it easier on yourself. But the fact remains, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of hours, a lot of time. Things need to be done, and things need to be done. There's usually a time crunch. Like right now, we're in a time crunch to get this garden switched over from summer mode to fall mode. We're in a time crunch to get these chickens are growing faster and faster. We're in a time crunch to get this pasture ready to go, to get their chicken, their mobile chicken house ready to go. So there's always a time crunch. There's always things that need to be done right now, immediately. And so if you're going in a homestead thinking that it's going to be a cakewalk, that you can just continue to kind of live your lifestyle where you're gone every weekend, or you take several vacations a year, unless you've got some really good friends and really good family that is going to take care of things for you, you're going to have to be here taking care of your animals, watching over your animals, making sure that they're safe. Let me show you this. So I haven't showed this a whole lot, but this is our mobile chicken coop that when we have chickens, we put them in here. They go up at night, and we let them out during the day, and we move this around the pasture within the free range. So our chickens will be going into here before long. So we've got to get that ready. We've got to get this spot here. That is where the nest boxes go. We take them off because the goats like to climb on them. So we take those off when there's nothing in it, because the goats will tear it up. The second thing you're probably not going to hear about homesteading on YouTube is the fact that you, for a large part, are totally at the mercy of nature. You are not in total control. Anybody that has done any amount of gardening or farming or anything know that we're not in control here, that nature is in control, and we are kind of at that mercy. We can't make things grow. We can't make things happen. Things are going to happen. It is the nature of the beast. Animals are going to get sick from time to time. Plants are going to die from time to time. Droughts are going to happen. Floods are going to happen. All of these things can wreak havoc on your homestead. And none of them are within our control. Now, yes, there are things we can do to mitigate these things. We can make sure that our animals are as healthy as possible. We can do our best to make sure that our plants have every opportunity to grow, but we can't control. There's things that we can't control. We can't control predators coming onto our farm and killing our animals. We've had that happen multiple times. There's things we can do to mitigate that. There's things we can do to help prevent it, but we cannot totally remove that risk. So we are at the mercy of nature. We want to think that we have everything under control. We want to think that we can handle whatever comes our way. We want to think that we can, by force of our sheer will, keep our animals healthy and keep them away from predators. But the truth is, we are not in control. Okay? That is the truth of the matter. Things are going to happen. Animals are going to die. Animals are going to get sick. Plants are going to die. Predators are going to happen. We do the best that we can to keep it from happening, but we cannot totally remove that risk. It's part of it. Third thing I want to share with you that nobody is telling you on YouTube is that homesteading is expensive. It is costly. There are a lot of people that want to get into homesteading because they think they can save money. They want to get into homesteading so they can quit their job, make a living on their land, spend less, and be able to do it. And there are people that do that. There are people that live out there in the land, don't get me wrong. But for the majority of us, homesteading is very, very expensive. All right, let me just give you a couple examples. So we had to purchase our 3 goats. So animals cost money. Plants, tomato plants, cost money. Fencing and gates cost a lot of money. Barns and outbuildings cost money. Lumber is expensive. Tractors cost a lot of money. And once you buy tractors, implements cost a lot of money. You can see implements. All these things are expensive. They're not free. Chickens cost money. It costs money in feed. It costs money in materials to house them. Homesteading is not cheap. It is costly. You can go to Walmart and buy some zucchini squash for fairly cheap. I can't grow it for as cheap as what you can buy it at the store. So why do we have a garden? It's not to save money. Why do we have goats? It's not to save money. Why do we have chickens? It's not to save money. It is to be closer to our food. It is to have better quality of food. You can buy broiler fried chicken. I don't know what they cost, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8. I can't raise a chicken for meat for $4, $5, or $6. So it's not saving money. It is costly, but it's worth it. Don't get me wrong. Don't say, well, hey, I'm just going to give up on it. Then don't, because it is very worthwhile, because the food that we get out of our garden, what we get from our animals, is far, far above in quality and nutrition and everything. So it's worth it. But we just need to keep in mind that you're not saving money. You're not saving money, especially if you do it the way we do it with all the fancy equipment. You're not saving money. So don't fool yourself into thinking that you're saving money. The fourth thing that I want to share with you that YouTube is not telling you about homesteading is that homesteading is all about failure. Now, hear me out. Not everything that you try on the homestead is going to be a blazing success. More than likely, for every success you have on your homestead, you're going to have a mountain full of failures. And that's part of the process. You cannot learn how to walk without falling. You cannot learn how to homestead without failing. You're going to fail. We need to understand that, and we need to manage our expectations, and not everything that we try, we're going to see that. We've tried so many things over the years that failed miserably. And that's why you don't see those on our farm today. They failed miserably. We tried to raise spinach. This failed miserably. We've tried, we tried to raise pygmy goats. Failed miserably. We lost our goats on the first day that we brought them home. One of them never even got into the fence. So we've got a list of failures. But failure is not the worst thing, because failure means that you tried something. If you want to avoid failure, just don't try. That's the thing. There's nothing wrong with failure. That's our problem in our society. We preach that failure is a bad thing. That we preach that you ought to be ashamed of failing. Failing just shows me that you're trying to do something. But the key is to keep trying. Is to keep trying other things. So you failed. Big deal. Keep trying. Try something else. Try it a different way. Rudy is, by the way, let me get this. Rudy is in rut. And so, he is, chasing the girls around. They're not quite ready. They're not quite in season, but Rudy is, not easily deterred. Yep. See how dark his face is. When, bucks are in rut, they'll pee on their face. But you see Coco is not quite ready. Oh, Rudy's doing his job. The girl's just not ready yet. Yeah, so failure is part of the process. So the fifth and final thing that I want to share with you that you're not going to hear on YouTube about homesteading is that homesteading is not glamorous. Now, I know homesteading is all the rage today. Everybody wants to talk about homesteading. All the TikToks show these cute little scenes of, how homesteading and how wonderful it is, and just how trendy it is. And I'm just going to tell you, it's not trendy. Like I said before, social media really only shows you the A side. It only shows you the front side. It doesn't show you the back side. There's always a back side, and it's usually full of, well, you know what it's full of. It's usually full of crap. That's the side of homesteading that you don't see, is dealing with those things that most people don't like to deal with. Most people don't want to deal with animal waste. Most people don't want to think about shoveling animal waste. But that's one of the things you're going to have to do. Is you're going to have to clean up after your animals. You're going to have to make sure they've got fresh bedding. It's not a glamorous thing, and that bothers me, because everybody wants to homestead because of what they see on YouTube. Everybody wants to try to do this because they see it on YouTube and they think, oh, look, so-and-so is doing that. I want to do that. And most of those people, they're going to go out there and they're going to spend their life savings, and they're going to buy a piece of property, and they're going to homestead, and they're going to figure out that all the glitz and glamour that they saw on the gram is not real. And man, there are so many people who move out of the city, who come to the country, buy a piece of land with their hopes and dreams of everything working out, everything being hunky-dory, only to go up for sale within a year. It happens. I see it all over the place. It happens around us even. They're going to try homesteading, and they try it, and they realize how much work it is, how difficult it is, how it's full of failure, how costly it is, and they give up. All because they fell for the glitz and glamour. They fell for the gold, so to speak, the fool's gold. And so it is not what you see on Instagram. It is not all roses. It is not all nice, pretty green. There's an ugly side to homesteading. There's a dark side to homesteading. All right? So if your dream is to have a homestead, let me encourage you, Start where you are. Maybe you got an apartment. Start where you are. You can be more self-sufficient in an apartment. You can grow microgreens. You can do things in your apartment to be more self-sufficient. You don't have to start from scratch, and you don't have to go from living in a small apartment in the city to coming out and buying 20, 40 acres and going. Matter of fact, if you do that, more than likely you're going to fail. Start small. Start with what you have. If you're in an apartment and you want a homestead, start doing things you can do in your apartment. Start growing plants on your balcony. Start growing microgreens. Find things that you can do where you are. I live in between two big cities in Tennessee. I live between Memphis, which most people know where Memphis is. I live between Memphis and Nashville. Somewhere there in the middle, closer to Memphis. We're about an hour from Memphis. So right now, I cannot go from Memphis to Nashville. I have to start where I'm at. So I have to start here. And I can go to Nashville from here, but I cannot go from Memphis to Nashville from where I am, because that's not where I am. So if you're going to start homesteading, you have to start where you are. If that's in a suburb, then you start in a suburb. You start in your backyard. If it's an apartment, you start on your balcony. But you start where you are and you grow from there. You find things that work for you. So don't fall for the glitz and glamour, because if the reason you want to homestead is because you saw an Instagram post that somebody shared about doing their morning chores, and you're just like, oh, I want to do that. That's not the reason to go into it. Do it because you enjoy it. Do it because it's something that you enjoy. We don't raise goats because we're going to eat them. We raise goats because we enjoy raising goats. We don't raise a garden. We don't raise a garden to provide all of our food throughout the whole year, even though we do. We do it because we enjoy it. We enjoy gardening. If you don't enjoy gardening, you're not going to do it for very long, because it's a lot of work. If you don't enjoy homesteading, you're not going to do it for very long. It's something it's got to be in you. It's something that you enjoy doing, because if it's not, it's going to become a chore. It's going to become a job. I shared with you these five things that you're not going to hear about on Facebook about homesteading. And it's been kind of a negative video. We talked about all the things that can go wrong. But I don't want to leave you on a bad note. I want to leave you on a positive note, because homesteading is very rewarding. It is very rewarding to be able to see new life being born on the farm. My favorite time on the farm is seeing baby goats being born. Is seeing baby chicks being born. Seeing chicks grow. Being able to see plants grow. Those are the things that we love, those things, and that's why we do this. It's very rewarding, but it's also a lot of work. Guys, thank you so much for listening to my rant. I hope you have a great day. I hope this inspires you to do something. If you want to be more self-sufficient, start where you are. Find something you can do where you are today. Bloom where you are planted. Wherever that may be, bloom where you're planted. Do what you can do where you are. Guys, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. You're awesome, and I'll see you on the next one.